We alive? Are we live though? Yes, we are. I'm hella surprised, yo. Hella surprised. I didn't think I'd be able to go live on this thing. I know I'm talking to no one now, but you might watch the playback if that's even a thing. I just shared the announcement on Twitter, so maybe someone's going to click the link, maybe not. Um, I just figured, I haven't gone live since the last election. The last I don't think it was the actual like election night I wanted to. Um the last time I went live it was during the debate and I was pretty much reacting to it. But I didn't watch any of the debates this go around because the shit was trash. I was not gonna listen to uh, babbling from either side. Nobody that I was interested in was debating in general, so I didn't feel the need to watch it. I'm not one of those people that just hate watch anything. Um, just watch just to hate on shit. That's a waste of time and energy, if you ask me. Some people might say voting is a waste of time and energy. But I did it because I am a firm believer in letting your voice be known, even when your voice is heavily suppressed, when your voice is discounted. Still let it be known because it's better than not voicing your opinion. And it's also better than choosing a side you don't necessarily want to choose and stuff, right? But as I was saying, I'm talking now because this is going to be a video up for anyone if they want to watch the playback. So I'm not going to wait till people to come into the room or whatever the case is. Uh, YouTube is going to do its thing. It's going to suppress the hell out of me anyway. People going to do their thing. They're not going to click on anyway. It is what it is. Um, it is 6:20 at this point. I'm actually gonna, or the plan at least is to stay on for at least 8 o'clock. Now, granted, I don't know if the results are gonna be, and that's actually gonna be a part of my prediction. As I have in the title, I have predictions, Cardi B, um, predictions, comma Cardi B, comma updates. So updates on what the hell has been going on for those who've been subscribed to the channel, and then my reaction to the results. It won't be surprising. It probably won't. But hey, we'll see. Just for the fun of reacting and shit, right? Um, but yeah, as I was stating before, getting right into the predictions. I honestly don't think that we're going to get results tonight. I think it's going to be like how it was last time, right? And I predicted that result, or I predicted that outcome for election night 4 years ago now. I predicted that it would happen like that long before election night. I'm talking weeks, at least weeks, a couple weeks, if not a month, a couple weeks before election night. What am I saying? So remember last year when, you know, we couldn't come to a conclusion, or they, couldn't come to a conclusion on whether it was Joe Biden or Donald Trump who got most of the votes on election night, because they were saying something about, I think it was something about the mail-in votes. They needed to count those, and there were still mail-in votes coming in even on election night, and therefore they're like, we have to postpone the decision essentially, or we have to wait until we count every single vote, because we can't just go based on the votes now, because the votes now, if I think prior to them counting all the missed votes, if you even believe that or not, we're not going to get into that tonight. But prior to them counting all the missed votes, it was Trump who was the it's seemingly the winner. Hence why it played into so much of his reasoning as to why he didn't want to leave in the first place, because he believes that he was cheated out. There was a bunch of other people who believe he was cheated out. Not saying I'm one of them. I'm just saying that's what it was. The two people who just left, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna keep talking, but um, yeah. So prior to that, right? Um, he was saying, well, not he. Pr- Last year, well, not last election year, right? Presidential run, all right, 4 years ago. Remember when again we couldn't come to a conclusion tonight, as in the fifth, because they wanted to count in all the mail-in votes. All right, that's understandable. I think that's going to be the same excuse tonight, but I don't think we're going to have to wait as long as we did the last election. Um, I think we ended up waiting 5 days after to figure out who actually won in 2020. I think it was. I don't quote me on it for anyone who's going to watch this afterward or whatever, but I think it was on the 10th of November when it was announced that Joe Biden had won. It wasn't announced on the 5th. I think that the same thing is going to happen, but instead of waiting 5 days, for some reason, the number three is coming to mind, and I believe it's going. We going to wait probably like 3 days. So I don't think we're going to get an announcement tonight. I'll be shocked if we do. I mean, not shocked. I mean, I'm. It'll be what it is if we do get a tally, a complete tally tonight. Um, but as far as just do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen at all. Not tonight. I think it's going to be a repeat of what happened 4 years ago, where they're going to, whether it's true or not, they're going to say we have to count all of the mail-in votes. And I believe 3 days from now, I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's going to be as long as uh, 5 days or as long as it was the last election cycle. But 3 days from now, so the 8th, I believe on the 8th, we're probably going to get an announcement. Now, with that being said, I'm kind of, I mean, we're still in the prediction section. So I'm going to keep talking. But yeah. So as I was saying, I don't think we're getting results tonight. I think that it's the same thing's going to happen what it did the last election cycle. With that being said, I think the same results are going to be the way, except instead of Joe Biden obviously being the victor, it's going to be Kamala Harris. You know, now whether you agree with that or not, I'm not saying that was where my vote went to. I'm simply just saying my prediction is that we're not going to hear anything tonight. We're not going to get results tonight. We're going to get it 3 days from now, so the 8th, and it's going to be that Kamala Harris one. All right. Trump is going to do the same thing he did 4 years ago. He's going to cry foul play. The Republicans, his voter base, everybody, they're going to do the same thing that they did 4 years ago: cry foul play, cry recount. That's never going to happen. And in comes our new president of the United States, the first female president, the first black woman president, Kamala Harris. And that is my prediction of what will happen, not tonight, but eventually, 3 nights from now. Um, yeah, that's my prediction there. As far as other predictions in relation to what my prediction, how do I see America shaping out? Nothing is going to change. I mean, it's nothing's going to change. I think it's probably obvious to those who do subscribe, and you're going to watch this later on. You're probably going to be like, well, obviously he's going to say that, but I don't think anything is going to change for the better. Again, 4 more years of Kamala is just 4 more years with the Democrats. Again, Joe Biden even said plenty of times. Um, Even after he after he announced his I guess resignation or whatever, right? Him not running again. He was like, Kamala's not going to be any different than I am. So for those who are going to think that things was going to be different around here, it's not. You know, I don't know if my lucky number is two, but it's always showing two people pop in and then the two people drop out. So I don't know what's the case there, but we're gonna keep riding out anyways. 222. All right. That's actually an angel number. So hey, so shout out to y'all. But um yeah, like anyways, as I was stating before, um your man JB even said that things weren't going to be different under a Kamala Harris regime. So for anyone who's thinking things were going to be different, my question is, how delusional are you? You know, um, simply because the face is different, the gender is different, the nationality is different, doesn't mean that the individual, and this is what Joe Biden was trying to tell y'all, not in the same vein that I'm trying to tell y'all, but he was trying to tell y'all in the sense of, y'all think I'm terrible. Well, guess what? My vice president is going to be just as terrible as I am. All right. So all the issues you were complaining about, the groceries being so high. I bought a couple snacks tonight, right? I ate most of them, but I brought this trail mix, right? Then I brought two protein shakes. And I brought some beef jerky. So four items at a grocery store, right? And now these weren't like huge, these like protein shakes were like, this is my water bottle. These protein shakes were like at least up to here, right? Let me put that up. So they weren't like the biggest bottles, right? And in fact, I can tell you the price. I remember it was $2.99 each, so $3 for those bottles. This is a store brand trail mix. This is not like Planters or whatever, the store brand trail mix. I did get Jack Link's beef jerky, which is a name brand, but nonetheless, um, all four of those items came up to damn near $20. It was 19 something. I could think it was like 1909. I'm around it and say damn near $20. All right. Nonetheless, I bring that up because if your issue with this current regime was groceries is too god dang high, it's going to be the same thing when Kamala's in office. If your issue was rent control or rent is too high and these landlords are getting out of control, I don't predict anything in that sector is going to change. If you've complained, I don't know, about the education system, I don't think that some things are going to change in that aspect as well. If you were definitely complaining about the genocide that's going on, and YouTube, they're gonna do what they do. I'm not gonna blurt my shit out for nothing. I don't bleep words. We adults here, I don't care. I know it's their platform. They could do whatever they want. But with that being said, I can say whatever I want, not without consequence, of course, but I'm still going to say it. So the genocide, like I said over there, um, if you had a problem with that under Joe Biden, it's not going to change under Kamala Harris as well. It's not going to change under Trump neither. I'm not saying that once Trump get into office, these things will get fixed because I highly doubt he wants to do much change, anyways. I think he's more so into uh, his ego is involved in this go around rather than him actually wanting to finish the job or him feeling like again he was slighted the last time. I think it's more so ego driven this time, me personally speaking. I know a ton of me being in the Bitcoin space. There's a um, ton of folks out there who've been trying to convince me and others that now Trump is legit. Trump is legit trying to make America great again, or make it great for the first time if you never thought it was great in the first place. Um, you know, yeah, like there's a bunch of folks trying to convince me on that. Um, but I see through everything. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. I see through all the bullshit. So As far as, do I have anything else to say about predictions? As I stated before, um, Kamala's going to win. It's not going to be announced tonight, but at least on the 8th. So at the very least, now it's either 2 to 3. I'm thinking 2 to 3 nights from now, or days from now, because they're not going to wait till 8 o'clock and on the 8th or so to announce it. But like I said, I don't think it's going to happen tonight. I really don't. It's going to be the same thing like 4 years ago, where they have to tally in all the mail-in votes. Now, again, I don't know if that's a legitimate. I can't make an argument whether it's a legitimate one or not. I go vote in person, as you can see from the sticker on my face, right? But no, I go vote in person all the time. I don't do the mail-in votes. That's just what it is with me. Ever since I started voting, I've never done mail-in. So guess what? I don't do mailing. I don't even like mailing things. So it's like, that's my reason is that I know there's drop boxes everywhere, where I go to do with the library I go to has a voter drop box and right in front of it. Literally today, I was seeing people drop their votes in today. These are early voters, or early mail-in people, and they still decided to drop it in today. And I believe y'all can do that. I believe people can do that in general. Y'all, I mean, y'all like who like to mail in your vote that way instead of going to a physical location, right? But I think they have the right to do that today to drop it off. I saw someone when I went to the library yesterday. I saw someone do a mail in yesterday. Okay, so it's like I'm inclined to believe that the reason why the delays don't get counted, oh, well, not don't get counted, but the reason as to why there's a ton of votes that still aren't completed as tallied by 8 o'clock every night on 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, at least on the 5th of November, is because you have people who do the mail in votes. Simple as that. You do have people who drop off their mail in votes on election day. So I don't believe that's bullshit, to be honest with you. Um, this is not me caping for if there's any Trump supporters watching right now or a Trump supporter because it's one of y'all. But this is not me trying to cape for the Democrats. It's not me trying to, this is me just being as objective as possible. I truly think that um, the reason as to why I feel like even going forward, probably that's probably going to be the case the next 4 years in 2028 when the next election comes. Like these results aren't going to be announced at night the day of. It has to be a situation like those days happened when there was, and I'm not saying that Obama was, a clear cut better president than the people he was going against. But um, when things like that happened, it was during both Obama's terms. Why? Because he was perceived like the overall general better candidate than again the other presidential candidates who were running during that time. We didn't get that. Um, in 2020. The funny thing is we didn't necessarily get that in 2016 when Hillary lost because Trump supporters went out in droves on election night and probably did the early mail-in stuff as well, and they really let their voices be heard. You know, hence what happened. Um, but again, I don't think that. I think what plays a big part in why we don't get the why for the foreseeable future, we're not going to get My prediction, of course, I don't know. Obviously, the results haven't came in yet. But for the foreseeable future, I don't believe that if there's no clear cut president that is overwhelmingly liked by the populace, or just overwhelmingly liked in general, we're not going to get announcements on November 5th, the night of November 5th. We're just not. As long as you continue to have two presidents who are liked by their sycophants, but disliked by the silent majority, or iffied by, again, another silent majority, we're always going to get results where they're not necessarily tallied up. Um, tonight, November 5th, the nights of November 5th. Um, and that's you can blame the voters. You can say the lack of voters and stuff. This night, it's always funny to me, right? People get on me about how I vote, but it'd be the same people who don't go out and vote, or it be the same people who, um, they vote one election and they think they cover for life. They're like, well, I voted in 2008, nigga. It's that was years ago, my guy. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You shouldn't be out here. Now, I get it. Like, to the vote folks who don't vote, because that's their idea of saying things, of letting it be known that, hey, I'm letting my voice be known. I'm not necessarily talking about them folks. The folks I'm talking about are the folks who want to criticize me for voting Jill Stein, Green Party once again, and yet they don't go out and vote. The folks who don't do their due diligence to educate themselves on anything, but they got something to say about how I educate myself and how I come to the conclusions I come to based off of the work that I've done as far as educating myself, getting educated on each candidate. Yeah, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it's not that those people, it's definitely not the people who those people don't make me feel bad for anything at all. I'm just making it be clear that you can't get on here and say some goofball shit. You know what I'm saying? Get on me and say some goofball stuff when you don't even do anything, right? Um, it's just pointless. So I think that was all as far as the predictions go. I didn't think this was. I thought I was going to be rambling so much that I was going to need the 2 hours. I'm probably not going to need all the 2 hours, but we on to. I just finished the prediction section, so um, I'm on to the Cardi B stuff. So why is Cardi B in the title? Why am I talking about Cardi B on election night? Well, Cardi B, for those who I don't know how to, I don't be live like that. Oh, so it does show that I could share the screen. So I don't think anyone watching now. If anybody is watching, then don't mind my silence. But Cardi B, I'm gonna type in Cardi B, right? Because she was just at Kamala rally, which the whole corny the celebrities going to these shit's corny, but whatever. She was at the Kamala rally, right? But I'm trying to find a video of her criticizing both uh years ago, when she actually criticized the Democrats and the Republicans, but more so the Democrats. um this wasn't even just years ago. Let me put my glasses on. This wasn't even just years ago. Why the hell is Massachusetts? Oh, dog it. Hold on. Let me see why. Let me see why Massachusetts is trending. Anybody watching right now? I ain't sharing the screen yet, but I mean, so it's just all right. Final election forecast from the Jay Kushner Institute. Oh, digging it down. Well, I mean, this was shit was done yesterday. I shouldn't even count this. And this is the Jay Kushner Institute. The model predicts widespread polling error, resulting in the undetected party realigning nationwide. I should have gotten the latest. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna cut this out when I upload the video. Oh no, no, actually, when I upload the video, I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna because the I'm gonna try to splice up each topic into its own video and stuff, and I will play into. Um, so it's just a bunch of people in Massachusetts, I think, like Trump supporters trying to turn Massachusetts red, which it's, if you ask me, it's always been red. Just Boston is the loud minority of this whole fucking state, and Boston's been blue vocally at least. Um, but as a Boston, Massachusetts native, I can tell you it's as red as a racist Trump cap. So, anyways, that's not what I came here for. Not to see Massachusetts. Cardi B. Found a video. Let's go. All right. So this is once I play it and possibly share screen. Right. Let me see. Share screen. What the hell is this talking about? My browser on some stuff. Yo, come on, man. What? I gotta quit and reopen. That's gonna close the stream, ain't it? Nah. Guess we not sharing the screen here. I can see when all right when I do the video, like when I cut it up, right? Final form, because I'm not closing it out. We already been on. All right. When I close it out, I might include like the actual video within my video. But for now, I'm just gonna hopefully you can hear it when I play it. That's great. You know what? I'm gonna like the tweet. I'm gonna go on this phone here. Go into my likes, play the video, see if you can at least hear the audio because Brave browser, yes, that's the browser I use. They don't want me for some reason. I had to click on 11,000 things for them to want to record for them to allow me to record it. And then they're talking about you got to close the window and open it up for them to want to get out of here, nigga. All right, so the video is playing, but I'm trying to. No more, cause they're. Don't fucking ask me. All right, yeah. All right, she already going up. All right, you probably recognize that voice, Cardi B. Again, so as I was stating before, at least trying to get into, uh, this is literally a couple months ago. She was ranting about how the current regime continues to find money for wars but can't feed the poor, essentially. um, Other issues that's going on, um, there's that takes actual like money to solve or whatever the case is, that she is fed up about a lot of the stuff that I've been talked about, a lot of the stuff other people have stated before, right? Their issues with, again, the current regime, um, and stuff, and therefore she talks about how she was opting to not vote at all, um, because she was fed up. Now, Cardi B has actually made comments like that in the past, which made me believe she's first. She made comments years ago. This is when Bernie Sanders was still running, and that was her guy. She was always on his side. Um, and then, once he stopped, that's when obviously her support for him stopped being vocal. Finally, more than two people, but I'm pretty sure it's going to drop off. But anyway, shout out to y'all for at least coming in and getting pissed off and chopping off. But um, yeah, so like when she, her support again for Bernie was that after that, you didn't necessarily hear a political peep from Cardi B unless she was criticizing the Democrats for not doing what she was hoping they would do. 2 months ago, she went live. Well, not live, but she went viral, let me say, for that saying the same thing that she had said years ago. This is the video from 2 months ago. I'm gonna play it again. The share screen thing is being weird, so I can't share it now. But I'm gonna play the video. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. I don't know if it's audible based on the levels, um, or I could just show you on this cracked ass screen. I don't give a fuck the resume that they send. I don't give a fuck. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Cause we could fund two wars. We could fund two wars. Motherfuckers talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like we're the greatest nation. No, the fuck we're not. We're going through some shit right now. Like say it. We really going through. We really are fucked right now. And yeah, we talking about we could fund two wars. That's like a nigga trying to front like, yeah, I got the money to support two bitches, but you really don't. Y'all talking about y'all don't make negotiation with the odds. Well, y'all need to sit the fuck down with these people and find agreement. No, we cannot fund these fucking wars. We can't. Keep it a bean. We can't. This is fucking crazy. And then you know what? I told myself this week, like, yo, the internet right now is too dark because celebrity drama, of course, we love it. We infuse with it. We watch it. But it's like, yo, that's little of what's really going on in the world right now. That's nothing compared to what's going on in the world right now. The world is in fucking shambles. Don't fucking... All right. So, again, as I was saying, that was 2 months ago. 2 months ago, she was on that. 2 months ago of this year, she was on a similar message. If not last year, it was at least the year before. So when I saw that 2 months ago, I'm like, I wasn't surprised. I knew people were going to be upset for sure, but I wasn't surprised only because I was surprised the first time I saw it, which happened again, if not last year, the year before, right? Then when I saw it again, I'm like, oh, she's just reiterating, she's just keeping that same energy. All right, shout out to her. But then, as some of y'all may have seen, she went to a a Kamala Harris rally in support. You know, her big issue apparently is the whole, the shit they've been throwing around, abortion rights, right? That's her whole thing. Is I want to support we gotta support women and da 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 da. And they're gonna take all the rights away from women, all that stuff, right? That's her thing, and that's why she's claiming that she's that she's out here she's voting for Kamala, right? We know the truth is they got in her ass. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be, the fans, the people, the shills, and the folks. Now they got on her the first time, and it didn't seem to work because again, this isn't her first time making those statements, the exact statements about the Democrats. She literally said the same thing years ago, if not. Um, but she changed a different tune just a couple days ago from again a viral clip of her going on IG live from 2 months ago, right? Now people are allowed to change their mind. People are allowed to think for themselves. That's if they actually do it. But people are allowed to change their mind. People are allowed to have their own opinion. But just something about this, it screams that it's not her opinion, you know. Well, not about what I just saw, what I just showed y'all, what I just showed y'all. I believe that's truly how she feels, although she is pretty guilty of some of the things she mentioned. But again, it could have been a what's it called, a coming to Jesus moment. Is that when you realize something about yourself that is problematic? Is that what that means? I don't know, you'll let me know. But she had her little coming to Jesus, allegedly coming to Jesus moment. um and yeah, it was that may have been it. But to see that again, that video clip I just showed y'all, to see that contrast to her on stage looking to how she was looking on supporting Kamala, it's like it's clear as day to me that this wasn't some mindset shift or whatever. Now I didn't watch it. I saw bits and clips, bits and clips of it, but I didn't watch any of it, so I don't actually know what she said. I saw, again, pictures is what I'm saying or trying to say. I saw pictures of it and people quoting something she said, and the quote essentially talked about how she is, for abortion rights, all this other stuff. That's why she's voting for Kamala Harris, right? Although the Democrats had the chance to codify Roe v. Wade and they didn't. So, yeah, I mean, what else do I have to say more about it? The reason why I'm bringing that up, not to just bring up the whole aspect of Cardi B being a hypocrite or Cardi B being uh they got to her essentially, being another puppet, political puppet. But it's to remind folks out there, anyone who's on the watch, either live or after this goes up, that political puppets, celebrities don't base your votes based on celebrities at all. They will speak the truth. Again, in that video that I just showed y'all, Cardi B is speaking shit that I've said. She's speaking part of my issues with the Democrats, right? Just for her to 2 months later show her ass on stage Now she didn't show her ass like Meg showed her ass on stage, but you get the point. Just for her to show her ass on stage and not make near mention of I changed my mind because X, Y, Z. Now again, I didn't watch it, so she may have mentioned it. But from what I've seen, it's like how she's handling the situation is exactly how small-minded, um, peanut-brained, and forgetful folks are, especially folks who vote uh Democrat are. Not saying people who vote Republican aren't, but these be the same folks, once again, as I mentioned in the first part when I talked about the predictions, or I mentioned some time earlier on, right? That Joe Biden even said a Kamala Harris presidency is not going to be any different than mine. So if you have a problem with me, that's what he was saying, was essentially, if you got a problem with me, you're going to have a problem with her. People forget that. People forget these things, and I'm at the point in time now where I don't think people are forgetting. More so is they're choosing not to remember. They're ignoring it, essentially. They're choosing not to remember things that were said in the past, things that were done in the past, not just by politicians, but by a lot of folks. You know what I'm saying? Well, at least a lot of the folks that they look up to, like celebrities, but especially politicians, since we're talking about politics, right? People tend to willfully, I think, willfully ignore what has been said by certain politicians, you know, because to them, as long as they continue to tell themselves that thing was never said or that thing was never done, as long as the people around them continue to live in pretend land and say these things were never said, these things were never done, that's real to them. The real world is to not acknowledge the truth. So I just think it's funny. I brought it up because I thought it was funny. I ain't gonna lie, I was like, damn, Cardi. Like, I thought you was at least like it was one of those situations where it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So I'll take that. I'll take it. That L, I guess, that L for loss and the little bit of faith I had in Cardi B, that she had, like, she was one of the ones, who was actually, you know, aware when she's not, you know. Um, what else do I gotta say? I talked about, that's crazy. I'm usually I ramble a lot. You're probably like, you're rambling now, but I swear that I'm saying everything. Okay, we on the update section now, and we are not. Well, if I could stretch the updates to at least 55 minutes, if I could stretch the updates to at least 55 minutes, uh, that would give us a 5 minute break, or at least a 5 minute break until polls are closed. And that was dumb of me to even, because the polls close at 8. Not gonna have the results in then. That is just all right. So that was goofy. That was goofy of me. That was a goofy error on my end. That's on me. Um, but I am gonna get into the updates, and guess what? I might have to change the title. I don't know how. I don't know how. I see people. I watch people's lives all the time, and they be changing things right on the fly. I think they do it through. Okay, you just press edit. Okay, so I'm taking the yeah, results reaction. I'm taking that out, and we're going to end it here at the updates once I do the updates, because goofy low me. Yeah, the polls close at 8 p.m., but that doesn't mean the results are going to. And by the way, I'm gonna keep this sticker on until the end of the live. Then I'm gonna take it off. All right, but I put it on all day because I'm a goofy goober. Anyways, um, Binance is an email about Binance, and that's my thing. I forgot to name this in the predictions, but I'm gonna say it now just to stretch out time a bit. No matter who wins or loses tonight, there's going to be two for sure winners: the police and Bitcoin. Now, only one of those two things I absolutely love. Now, as far as why I say the police and or Bitcoin, because you have two pro police political candidates. Kamala is definitely pro police. I don't give a damn what any of you weirdo, dumbass right wing fools are gonna say. She's a socialist. She's a BLM activist. She ain't none of that shit. Get out of here. Stop thinking everybody with a Democrat next to their name is what you think they are. They're not socialist. They're not all anti-cop BLM activists. BLM ain't even really anti-cop like that. Like, let's be real. Come on now. They called the police on a black man just for walking around just as much as the people that they claim to be against would do so. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Anyways, um, but yeah, whoever wins tonight, and I can tell the cops know for a fact. Cops are like, if I was an asshole cop, meaning if I was just a cop in general, I'd be celebrating the fuck tonight. I'd be working on. I'd be drinking on. If I was a cop, I'd probably be a drinker as well. I don't drink, so if I was a cop, I'd be drinking on the job, getting drunk and beating up people, no matter who won tonight. Why? Because cops are winning tonight. I'd be beating the shit out of niggas. And I do mean niggas. But no, I'd be beating the shit out of niggas if I was a cop tonight. Now, I'm not inciting anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that should be the case. But cops are the real winners tonight. But as I stated, Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin, my prediction is this. All right. If Kamala wins, Bitcoin's going to take a little bit of a dip. It already dipped down a little bit. We was at 72,000, I believe, and then it dipped down to 68,000 a couple days ago. Now it's just been sitting at 68,000 for, I want to say, the last 2 days or so, right? Um, but I believe if she wins, people are going to freak the hell out. They're going to sell off, and we're going to dip to about maybe 62,000, I think, around that range. It's gonna be a dip, but it's still gonna be in the 60K range. But I believe it's gonna be around like 62,000. All right, I don't be tripping about these dips either because y'all just be selling me y'all wealth. Every time it dips, I buy. When it's stagnant like this, I hold. I mean, I hold all the time. A hold is the term, but I don't buy when the price goes up. I buy the cheaper sats when the price go down. But that's just me. But that's what's going to happen if she wins again, whether it's announced sometime tonight or as I was stating before, 3 nights from now, so the 8th, or 3 days from now, so the 8th. I feel as though it's going to take a little bit of a dip again down to that 62K. This is all speculative, by the way. This is not me. This is all speculative and probably, dare I say it, I'm gonna say it anyway, spiritual. What the universe is telling me, I don't know, but like, yeah, this is all speculation is what I'm trying to say. This isn't me looking at charts, numbers, predictions. I am not that guy. I go based on I'm just a guy who speculates. That's it. If my speculations become right, well, it's because I'm a prediction god, as I predicted a lot of stuff. As I stated at the top of this live stream, I predict, or at least one of the predictions was that we're not going to hear a winner tonight. It's going to be like how it was 4 years ago, where it's going to be a couple nights. But 4 years ago, it was 5 nights from tonight, whereas this year, I think it's going to be 3 nights from tonight. So that's why I'm saying November 8th. For those who are wondering why I kept saying November 8th, right, instead of the 5th. Um, because I truly believe that, you know. But that's all. We're gonna take a dip as far as Bitcoin, but it's not gonna go like drastically low. Now, to be honest with you, as much as I'm making right now with it, and it's not like a lot, but as much as I love seeing my investment go up, if it dips down to like insane like low numbers, like a big dip, um I'm racking up. Fuck up. I'm racking up. I am racking up. I'm taking everybody's Bitcoin. I'm not stealing, but it's going to feel like a steal because ooh, I'm racking up. I just might spend all my money on it. I might go crazy. I might go crazy because when it goes back up, I could finally retire, like for real retire. Like right now, I'm in like a weird retirement mode, which I will detail to y'all, but I'm not actually like retired. I'm just retiring from certain things. That might cut into the updates aspect. All right, I already spent much time on the predictions. That was all my predictions. Like I said, the true winners tonight are the police and Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only one I like. This is how I feel about the police. So, with that being said, let's get into the updates section. So, for those who might be watching because you are a subscriber or whatever the case is, y'all should be used to me taking these breaks by now. Honestly, like as long as I've been on this thing, you should be used to me not being consistent on YouTube, or at least being consistent for some time and then having a large drop off where I don't even upload nothing. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you're not used to that, if you're new here for some reason and you subscribe, I got a subscriber the other day. And that's the thing that kills me. Hey, this happens oftentimes. I get more subscribers and I don't do anything than when I am active. That ain't true, but it feels like it's true. Anyways, um, what I've been up to, man, a lot has been happening. A lot of good, uh, you know, but unfortunate shit as well. Life shit. But let's just focus on, I guess, the good, and then the stuff that I would like to work on. Let me put it that way. So as far as good goes, I don't know if I mean I just graduated back in the summer. So yeah, got my bachelor's and all that. I don't know or remember the last time I upload, was I already graduated or was I graduated at the time or was that sometime before graduation? I remember it probably was sometime afterwards because I remember the last video I did was about the ugly girl who got called a man because she's strong and she's ugly. But y'all's words, not mine. I just repeating after y'all. But anyway, um, yeah, like that happened, so that was great. Um, and then outside of that, it was not that nothing good happened. Um, I've just been hustling, been doing me. Been working on my own shit, like stuff that I'm actually like passionate about. Focusing a lot on my writing. Focusing a lot on my physical health, as you can probably see, but no, focusing a lot on my physical health, focusing a lot on my mental health, focusing a lot on bettering my finances, trying to get out of debt and all that shit, right? You know, Dems claim they were going to forgive student, and again, they could easily write both parties again could easily write off this student loan debt. It can be done. It hasn't been done because nobody wants to do it. Well, at least nobody of the two-party system wants to do it. Party I vote for, the politicians I vote for want to do it, have a desire to do it, and always say that they will do it if given the opportunity to do so. But they don't ever get that opportunity. All right. They win in other positions and stuff, but not in a position that is high enough to say no more student debt, no more medical debt, things of that nature, right? Regulating these credit card companies from creating such high interest rates to keep people in financial slavery for life, right? And then have their children be in financial slavery, paying off their debts, and so on and so forth, right? So, yeah, like as far as just me, okay, graduation was cool. Me focusing on what I'm doing right now is cool. Focusing on a lot on physical, mental happiness in general. Like that's what it is. It's gonna sound hippy dippy. I guess it's the hippy dippy part of the live. Feel free to click off if you want to, as people been doing all night anyway. Um, but because and I mentioned Bitcoin before because Bitcoin does play a big, huge part in my decision making on a lot of things. Um, it could be It could be that. It could be me just simply being tapped out of the political sphere, meaning that I've given up so much hope, so much faith in oh, sorry either party getting it right. People on either side waking up. Now there are folks from either side I've seen who actually they show that they're actually smarter than Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like I don't go based off of how other people are feeling, what they're doing, their reactions. Um, I know that there are people, especially in the family, who are going to continue to be insufferable. To be honest with you, for lack of better wording, they're going to continue to sip the Kool Aid, right? Um, but those folks don't even bother me anymore, right? And I feel like Bitcoin played a big part in that. Seeing how I now have faith that the life that I desire for myself, right, is pretty much possible because of that. Oh, obviously because of me deciding to go for mine and all that stuff. But even doing that has has a lot to do with much more now that I'm thinking about it to do with Bitcoin. How that has allowed me to not just view freedom in the financial sense of like financial freedom, but freedom in the sense of saying, you know what, fuck this job. You know what, fuck this country. You know what, fuck this city. You know what, fuck this state. You know what, fuck this whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fu money before I even get to spend it, and that's the crazy thing about it. So yeah, it can take a little dip if Kamala gets elected. It could take a little dip now. It's not going to go away though. Bitcoin is forever. No matter who the president is, it is forever. With that being said, that's why I considered it the real winner of tonight, or at least one of the real winners of tonight. Again, Police is another winner. If you believe in the police and you're Mr. Blue Lives or Mrs. Blue Lives Matter and you're a Bitcoiner, then you won tonight. Because it don't matter. It don't even really matter if you, well, it probably still does to you, but like I'm saying that from the police bootlicking standpoint, it really don't matter. Even if you didn't vote for Kamala Harris and she ends up winning, is she's still gonna back your boys in blue? You know what I'm saying? So be happy about that. That's the non-bipartisan shit that they talk about. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, like, oh, I'm supposed to give y'all updates, not talk about Bitcoin and shill that like y'all be shilling presidential elections. So again, updates. Again, graduated back in June. Cool. All right. As far as what happened with this, I maybe some of y'all are wondering how come the drop off. You mentioned it and you didn't even go in depth. Well, um, I've mentioned it plenty of times on this podcast before, or at least on the podcast before, that I was getting tired of doing the podcast. Now, maybe I just needed some time off, because I do think about doing. Hence why I got on live. I do think about getting on here and just blabbity blabbity blab blab. He just blabbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think about getting back on video and sharing my thoughts on things. That's why I brought up Cardi B. I do think about it for all the time that I wasn't doing these episodes, these videos at least. I was writing about them, and I'm gonna still continue to write about them. But I want the bulk of my writing to be what I'm doing right now, which is just focusing on writing books, TV show scripts, movies, scripts for TV shows and movies. What I'm doing right now. This is the stuff that brings me joy. This is the stuff. This is the stuff that I've been doing, and I'm not going to again. Bitcoin is credited for a lot of my fuck you attitude. I'm gonna do what I want because I got this thing that's really in charge of my future. That's a part of it, or at least not in charge of my future, but it is beneficial for my future. So that's a part of it. But the other part is me simply deciding that I no longer wanted to focus on the things that simply were not bringing me joy. I no longer wanted to put up with jobs or put up with people who made me feel, and I'm not saying you got to feel good all the time, but when you at a job and they treat you like a criminal or somebody because they don't understand you, or they, yeah, for lack of a better word, they don't understand you, they treat you a certain way, which is weird. Why would you then hire somebody and the background is clear? So it's like you ain't got to put up with that. You shouldn't have to put up with that, whether you are a Bitcoin investor or not. You shouldn't have to put up with shit like that at your job, where mysteriously a laptop goes missing, right? A crappy ass, shitty ass MacBook. Oh, not MacBook. Let me not disrespect MacBook. I'm sorry, babes. A shitty ass Chromebook. That's what I meant. A crappy ass, shitty ass Chromebook. Chromebooks are garbage. I don't care if you're watching right now on a Chromebook. Throw that shit away, nigga. Like, Chromebooks are garbage. And yet I was at this one job. Just started, right? Literally just started. Um, and this was the same week. So on a Wednesday, they were, one of the dudes was like, hey man, the laptop I always use, it's missing. I couldn't find it. I don't know where it's at. So then how everybody does the whole 1 2 3 not it type shit. That's what it felt like with all the coworkers. Everybody in the room was like, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. So I guess part of the reason why they may have tried to, they may have subliminally, well, I won't say, that's not the word I want to use. Actually, I want to use um eh, covertly. That's the word I want to use. So part of maybe some of the reason they covertly were blaming me for the missing laptop is because I didn't say anything about it. Wasn't me. One, I purposely didn't say anything because soon as he mentioned it, I'm like, watch them blame the new guy. Meaning, watch them blame me for it. And two, I don't have to prove my innocence when I'm not being charged of anything. And also, I'm not guilty of it. And three, which should have been first because it's the most important one, I don't fuck with shitty ass Chromebooks. Why the fuck? First, I won't steal anything. I'm not, and definitely not stealing work property. But if I was one of them folks that steals work property, it's definitely not going to be a Chromebook. Like, let's keep it a buck. That shit is terrible. And again, like I said, if you watching this on a Chromebook, throw that shit away. What you doing with your life, yo? It was cheap. It was only $120. You just wasted $120 then, my nigga. Like you could have saved that up, saved up some more bread, got you a nice MacBook. That $120 could have gone toward saving up for a decent computer. At the very least, a Dell. A Chromebook, though? Get out of here. But anyways, so they did that, and me being the 50 steps ahead ass nigga that I am, I knew for a fact that they were blaming me, even though they were trying to pretend like they weren't. There were people whispering things, like, whispering things whenever I left the room. Um, and again, this happened on a Wednesday. And then every day after that, that's when the suspicious behavior of them started. They started acting weird. The 2 days before, Tuesday and Monday, obviously, they weren't acting like that. Prior to this day, they weren't acting like that around me. I could walk by someone's things and they wouldn't instantly look at they shit and eyeball. They wouldn't watch me like when you walking somewhere, right? And maybe you can't tell this, maybe you're not intuitive, but when you walk in somewhere, you can feel somebody's eyes on you, and then you turn around and then they turn around because they try to make it seem as though they weren't watching you, but they were actually watching your every single move. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. That was exactly, let's just say, right? Because I used to put my stuff, again, my laptop, my book bag, my shit that I carried at work. I used to put it, and they had this, they didn't even have any like real storage stuff for it. So, but there was a shelf, or like one of those little filing shelves that had a bunch of space in it still. So I used to put my stuff in there all the time, right? But it was in the corner of the one of the rooms we used, right? So I would have to then walk to that corner to put all of my stuff away. Um, with that being said, who this? Who did I vote for? Jill Stein. Yep, Jill Stein, Green Party. Thanks for commenting. I don't know if you disappointed. Let me put my glasses up. I can't even see without them. All right, and I was in like some weird story, but I voted Green Party for the third time, proudly. I don't know if you was at the beginning of the. A lot of people was dropping in and out, so I don't know if you were one of the ones. But I was saying at the beginning of this live. I don't got no faith. Like I don't have faith in either of the two parties. I have an entire channel dedicated to trashing them when I was podcasting for the 8 years that I did the Earnest Thoughts podcast. Um, I was vocally about, against the Dems and the Republicans. So it comes to no surprise to those folks who have been following me for years, my stance and why I feel the way that I feel. But yeah, I voted for Jill Stein again. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. She didn't run in 20. Well, no, she didn't run. She ran when Hillary ran. She lost that, obviously. And then again, when it was Joe Biden and Trump, I believe it was Howie Hawkins who ran. Never seen that guy ever again. So I don't know what he's up to, but he ran green. And then she ran again this year. Now, just to respond to folk, if they're gonna be on something that was a wasted vote. A wasted vote is voting for somebody you're not even 100% sure on. At the end of the day, the reason why I feel so good on election nights, it's not because I think the world is going to be a better place. It's because I know that I voted with my conscience. I know that I voted for the person. And it's not even just with the presidential election. Uh, Here we go. Here we go. A lot at stake for women, especially black women. Um, Buying into the Kool-Aid, Savannah. Let me tell you something. It's not like if it's announced, because like I said earlier on, I don't know if you saw it, but earlier on, I don't think we're going to get an announcement tonight about who won. But if it's announced, as I predict, three days from now, so on the 8th, that or even earlier, but if it's announced tonight or whenever it is announced that Donald Trump wins, it's not like women are going to go back to days where they lose the right to vote. Um, it's going to be a situation where it's going to be up to the states to decide whether women get abortions or not. Most states in the United States are going to allow that. There's not Things aren't going to go to like these drastic levels that folks are saying that they will, to fearmonger people into voting for genocide or voting for more of the bullshit they've been voting for. And as far as especially for black women, there's always this separation folks try to do when it comes to the black community, where they separate issues and say things like black women, things that, affect black women don't affect black men and all this other shit, right? I'm gonna get to your next point next, but let me finish this off. Let me drink. This is water, not alcohol. If I drunk alcohol, whew, terrible. But if whatever negatively affects a black woman in this country is going to, at the same rate, negatively affect a black man. And again, things aren't going to go back going to go to like these crazy levels of, oh my god, people are losing rights, oh my god, bringing slavery. First of fucking all, try to bring slavery back. Try to bring slavery back with all the armed niggas there are in this country, myself included. Go ahead and try to enslave me. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the folks who really think shit like, if you don't vote for the Democrats, slavery's coming back. First of all, I never left. It's called the presidential complex. So as long as we don't get rounded up and thrown in prison, and once again, there's too many of us who are actually armed and will fight back for that to happen. Not just fight back for ourselves, but actually fight back for the other people who aren't armed. That's not going to happen. It's going to be a lot of bloodshed if they wanted to bring back slavery way back before, they created prisons. So That's this whole idea of if you if you don't vote for a Democrat, things are gonna go as bad as they were like like before Obama was in office. It's this crazy fear monger that I've been getting and hearing for years. And I know folks been saying this shit for years. Like y'all don't get tired of being super like y'all are exaggerating these points. And then also I'm gonna say this before I read the rest of your comments because I see you going off. I appreciate it, but let me say this. All right. All of this scaremonger tactics, right? And yet the very people you're saying vote for are responsible for carrying on these fearful tactics or doing nothing. I don't know if you heard me, Savannah, but I said that I mentioned the Democrats had the opportunity to codify Roe v. Wade. It did nothing, absolutely nothing about it. Why? Because they knew they could get it for votes, use it as a scare tactic to use to get people to go out and vote. That's exactly why they did nothing about it. This is a party that relies on not solving problems because if they know if they solve the very problems you, I, and other people express they have, there is no reason for us to then go to them begging for a solution or then go there would be no reason in their eyes at least because I personally would love to continue to vote for the Democrats or anybody for that matter that brings results. Why wouldn't you? I think it'd be hella stupid of any voter to say things like, okay, you solved all of my problems. Guess what? I ain't going to vote for you. Or guess what? I'm never going to vote again. You want to know why? Because I don't have any problems because you solved them all. No, it's like, I'm going to vote for you because you did that thing for me. You did that other thing. You did that other thing. And I want to make sure that you and other people who think like you stay in office. So I'm going to continue to vote. But the Democrats see it the other way around. See, they see it as if we solve all of these issues, we get the people to beg us to do a job, and we return with, well, vote for us and I'll do it. And then you vote for them, and then they don't do it. And then they say, well, you got to vote for us in order for us to do the job. And then you vote for them, and then they don't do the job. And they say, well, you got to vote for us to do the job. Like, it's a vicious cycle that you all are trapped in. I'm gonna answer y'all questions. Here you go. Your last comment. I'm gonna go bottom up. Well, not bottom up with all of them, but I just saw this one. The whole bringing up Trump. Do you think Trump is going to do it? You think Trump is better? Here's the thing, and again, I've been saying this shit for years, and y'all wonder why I stopped doing the podcast. But no, every time I bring up a critique of the Democrat, it's always, oh, you think Trump is better? Then go vote for Trump. No, I don't think he's better. As I said, for the 8 years I've been doing this, I've been criticizing both the Republicans and the Democrats. The most my highest viewed episodes or videos, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you vote for, are when I am criticizing the Republicans, though. That's when people are like, yeah, you the man. Yeah, yeah. Ain't nobody saying Trump is going to do the exact opposite of the Democrats. Trump, I mean, the Republicans are the same way in a way with their voters. They're not, in the they're not motivated in quotation marks to solve problems either. They're actually the party that likes to point fingers. At least with the Democrats, they're all about gaslighting and stuff, but they don't necessarily, well, they do point fingers, but it's not as often as the Republicans. Republicans are always, it's this group's fault. It's that group's fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's these people's fault. It's that people's fault. They're all about pointing fingers for issues, again, that they ignore, issues that they have made worse. When all the finger pointing that they do, as the whole mama saying, "Oh, you point one finger at somebody else, you got what, three more pointed at you, four more pointed at you." That's somebody's Republican mama should have told them that, because that's what they are. They're the party of pointing fingers, and you these are mad comments I got to respond to, and I said I was going to get off at 8. Listen, I'm going to respond to a few. I should have made it so like, nah. I ain't gonna do nothing, because that's why I'm here, right? You know what I'm saying? Women's rights are not being. Tell me in the comment section below, how are women's rights being taken like to some fucking caveman? Are y'all gonna lose the right to vote if Trump is announced the winner? Would he really alienate 50% of his base? Or over 50%? Let me put it that way. 50% of white women vote for Trump. Do you really think that if he wins, he's going to 56% of white women vote for Trump? Do you really think it is logical for him or any other Republican to say, yeah, let's take away women's rights of votes? We back in office now. Let's be the toxic men that they say we are. Let's take away their right for vote. That means that they're taking away 56% of their own voter base. These are things you have to think about when you listen to these folks. Here you go. You think that 50% of Trump's votes is strictly women. I said 56% of white women. White women aren't the only women out there. And you can find the stacks on that. That's number one. Number two, even if it's just white women and not Asian women or black women or any other ethnic group of women, 56% of white women, I made that clear. I didn't say 50% of women. I said white women. But you being the typical Democrat, only twisting words and hearing what you want to hear, just to try to make some straw man fallacies. That's not what I said. All the other, what, there's 9 people watching. The other 8 people, pretty sure they heard me say white women, not 50% of women. White women. You the only one that heard 50% of women. Nonetheless, 50% of white. Play it back. Go ahead, play it back. I'm definitely gonna play it back, because this is going up as a video when I end the live, and also I'm gonna cut up these videos as well. You just gave me more video content, so thank you. But I'm gonna cut these videos up into separate videos. So if you missed the first parts or so of the live, you can go watch it in its own separate video. But I definitely said 56% of white women vote for Trump. White women. It ain't my fault you think white women are the only women in the world, but that's not what I said. Number two, do you really think that he or just the Republicans are going to be dumb enough to alienate 56% of their base? Let's be fucking real. This whole idea, and my laptop's about to die, so I'm going to really have to get off soon. But this whole idea, again, of this fear mongering that they allow y'all to do. Okay, Savannah, if you live in a state that doesn't allow abortion, that sucks. As pro-abortion as I am, I think all states should have it. But it's not like you can't fucking move. And that's going to sound harsh. It is what it is. It's not like you can't move to another state. Now, Is it shitty that you gotta uproot your life to go somewhere that might allow abortions and things of that nature? Depending on how you view it, yeah, it might suck, but may I remind you, Dems had every chance in the world to do something about it, and they did nothing. Why? Because they knew they can use it as a scare tactic to get people like you to vote for them. That's exactly why they did nothing. Because they knew if we solved the issue, they would have nothing to come to us about. As I was saying before, they are the folks who will see a problem, know that people who take issue with the problem, who are affected by the problem, say to those people, hey, I can do something about the problems, but you gotta do something for me. You know what I'm saying? They rubbing their hands, they got the look at their lips, they you know something for me, you know what I'm saying? I got you, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. But they could have done something about it when they had the chance. And they didn't. Because they were using it on people like you to get votes. It ain't no different this go around. And if Harris is the winner, it ain't not going to be any different the next go around. As I was saying at the beginning, if she's announced the winner, nothing is going to change. As far your man JB, Joe Biden, by the way, even said it. He said himself, listen, she is no different than nothing is. If you think voting for her is going to be different, whatever issues you pretty much had, this is what he was basically saying. Whatever issues you had with me, you're going to have with her. If you like the job I was doing, you're going to like the job she was doing. There is nothing going to be different. So with that being said, yeah, they had the chance to codify, Dems had the chance to codify Roe v. Wade, and they did nothing about it. Because they knew they can get folks like you to think, oh my God, if Trump wins, first of all, the first time Trump won, you as a woman, Savannah, were you forced to like stay in the? I mean, we all were forced to stay in the house in 2020. So again, how's this just affecting women or black women? That's number one. But were you forced to stay in the kitchen and cook and clean all day? Was your right to vote taken away, and then magically you gained the right to vote again when Joe Biden came into office? How were you even able to vote for him if you didn't have a right in the first place? Were you just forced to make babies and pop out babies? No. Were you not allowed to work because women aren't allowed to work? No. All of these 50s scare tactics, 50s, 40s, 30s, early America scare tactics that the Dems have y'all believing is true today is insane. And then people will try to, oh, aren't you afraid? First of all, I am not afraid. As a black man, I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid of people, online internet trolls talking about they're going to try to bring back slavery. What? Like I said, look into the 13th Amendment. Slavery was never really abolished. It just got turned into the prison industrial complex. Look at what's going on in the prisons right now. These are not correction facilities. These aren't facilities for people to be punished or learn the error of their ways for whatever crimes they did or didn't do. It's fucking cheap, free labor. It's what it is. But if we're talking about slavery, like back in the field and stuff, like I said, we got too many niggas with guns, men and women with guns. Too many people are going to fight back. today. That's just not a violent. You would have to get the military to try to, and then in that sense, it's not just black folks who are, um, and threatened of being enslaved. It's everybody. That's number one. Number two, I still highly doubt some shits like that's gonna happen because then you're gonna have people, black folks, white folks, all types of folks who are in the armed forces that's going to fight back and say this ain't right. No, I will protect these people who don't have the means to protect themselves. It's going to be all out civil war. You know what I'm saying? That is more likely, and as fucked up and scary as that shit is, that's still more likely to happen than women getting losing their rights. All of their rights, or women losing the right to work, vote, abortions. Again, I understand how that is an important issue. I believe it's an important issue as well. I voted for Jill Stein, who is for pro-choice, by the way. All this, but I understand you vote. I'm glad you voted, but y'all say this all the time, and yet you have no idea about the candidates that I support every single issue you claim to care about. You claim that you care about abortion rights. Jill Stein does. You don't vote for her. You claim to care about ending genocide and wars. Jill Stein's about that. You don't vote for her. You want to end student debt. Jill Stein's about that. You don't vote for that. You want to end medical debt. Jill Stein's about that. You don't vote for that. You want to talk. You want to fix the economy. Jill Stein is about that. Other third-party candidates are about that. You don't vote for them. So it's vote for the party. And I was just reading a bunch of you went on a rampage here. This is the most comments I've ever got ever. Shout out to you, Savannah. All right. They all dumb, but all but one, the one being the first comment being your question to me. I might make that the pin comment just in case someone else. I'm being a troll right now, but I'm being a troll, but I'm actually being serious. Like you're not you're stating a bunch of BS that was fed to you by the Democrats, fear mongering tactics. Oh my God, if you don't vote for a Democrat, women are going to lose everything. If you didn't vote for a woman, women going to lose everything. You didn't vote for a black woman. That means you hate black women. Really? 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 Y'all don't support Nina Turner. Nina Turner is more black than Kamala Harris. I'm not questioning Kamala's blackness, but if we're talking about black on both sides versus someone who is allegedly half black or half black, that's what I mean by more blackness. Y'all don't support Nina Turner. She's a black woman. I love Nina Turner. The reason why I don't vote for her is because I can't vote for her because she doesn't run in my fucking state. But she always gets my vocal support. She always gets my spiritual, moral support. You know what I'm saying? If I had the chance to vote for her, I would. I voted for black female politicians out here in Massachusetts who unfortunately disappointed me. Some of them, most of them, not all of them. So don't try that shit either. And even if I didn't vote for, any black female politician because I didn't feel that they were right, there's just as much, probably even more black male politicians I skipped over. I didn't vote for Cornel West. Everybody who knows me knows how much I love him, or at least people who pay attention to me know how much I love Cornell. But I personally, between him and Jill Stein, I felt more comfortable voting for Stein than Cornel West. And they pretty much agree on a lot of the same stuff, but it was just more so she had a more. First of all, Cornell was at some points in times flip flopping, so it was. I was getting to a point where it's like, all right, brother, like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna stand on something or not? Because you too old for this. You know, that was one. And two, again, been supporting Jill Stein since 2012. I've watched her stances stay consistent on things. I've watched her stances grow in a sense of she have it seemed as though she was either I've never had a conversation with her, by the way, but it seems as though she's been listening to my people like myself on certain issues and that she supported certain things because of me and others probably in her circle. Such as Butch Ware, you know, her VP pick, may have been in her corner, educating her on things that I've been saying and others have been saying as well. But yeah, like I said, I was gonna stay on till like 8. We got about 6 minutes. I'm gonna see what other comments you say because you the only one commented. So you know what I'm saying? Let me just and I totally said I was gonna do the updates. I'll probably update folks on some other stuff. Let me change the title and responding to your comments. Man, where's that little fancy and at? What? I'm tired. Now I'm gonna have to type it out and responding to your comments. That's what it is. All right. All right. Back to the incoherent bibble babble. That is Savannah May's. I was about to say tweets. One comment. I'm not even subscribed to you. I clicked on your link because I thought you were going to be unbiased. Um, what part of before you continue on the babble of anything else? I already talked about Cardi B. Already talked about her. You came in super late. I started this live at 6 o'clock. Um, Foolishly thinking they were going to have the results in by 8, but that's when the polls close at 8. So they're not going to have the results in by 8. That was a foolish decision on my end. At the end of the day, but I will reiterate to you what I said about Cardi B, just because you're commenting and shit, right? And just so I could be nice. But my question to you before I do all of that, where was I being unbiased? And what is your definition of unbiased? Because I clearly just said that I both have on this platform and just in general that you don't even know how the polls work. I do know how to polls. Here you go talking dumbass shit. The polls do close at 8 o'clock here in Boston, Massachusetts. You might not be in Boston, Massachusetts, but they close at 8 fucking clock at night on November 5th. And then they count up all the votes. Here you go being a dumb dim trying to say things like I never said I didn't know how to polls. This girl. Oh man, she got to be trolling at this point. It's the straw man fallacy for me, y'all. This is what I said. I said I started the live at 6, thinking that the results were going to be in by 8 o'clock. But the polls close at 8. The results aren't going to be in tallied fully at 8 o'clock. That's impossible. You can't tally up all the fucking votes in like the last 10. Let's just say, I mean, it's 7:57 right now. There are people like literally scrambling at this very moment in time to get their votes in. You think in 3 minutes they're gonna fucking tally up all those votes? No, it's gonna take time. It just means the cutoff point When they close the polling stations, the cutoff point is at 8 o'clock here in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know where you're from, but in Boston, Massachusetts, you didn't understand what I said. You're misunderstanding on purpose because you want to make some fucking weird ass argument because you mad that I didn't vote for your girl. That's what you doing here. That's what you're doing here. You upset that I didn't vote for her, and now you twisted my words up so you can make some bullshit arguments. I said they close at 8. I didn't say that all the votes would be in by 8, but I said where I made a mistake was because initially I was like, oh, I'm going to do a reaction to the votes. The fucking if the reaction to the results. If the results are announced tonight, it's gonna be late as fuck. I ain't gonna stay up late as fuck. Why? Just to talk to you? Shout out to you, Evan. You got the popcorn now? What up? But like, you know, I ain't gonna sit up all night to that's what I was saying, Savannah. I'm not gonna sit up all night just to be like, okay, guys, let's wait. Okay. Okay, oh my god. No, that's what I meant. That's why I said that's where I messed up at. As far as where the poll that messed up at, what you're saying I messed up at, I messed up out nowhere. All right. So yeah, I'm glad you know my fucking name. Yeah, say it again. Remember this name. Remember this face. Remember this night. Savannah. That was stupid. Anyways, you still didn't answer my question of where was I being you said you thought I was going to be unbiased. So where that means where was I being biased? Is your idea of bias meaning, hey, I don't like the war in Gaza. I don't like what's going on over there, but I'm still going to vote for Kamala Harris because Trump's a big old fat meanie. Is that your idea of unbiased? I get it. Your idea of unbiased is what MSNBC claims to be when they say they're unbiased. What CNN does when they claim to be unbiased. That's your idea of unbiased, right? Scripted, unbiased bullshit that it's not really unbiased. Nah, I was unbiased. If you came here earlier, I told you I was talking about how the Republicans. You was here for that. I don't know why you claiming I wasn't being unbiased. You was here for that, Savannah, and you was commenting during my entire time simply because you didn't listen to what I said about the Republicans and my issue with the Republicans. Doesn't mean I didn't say it. It just means while you was over here, while you was doing all of that, you know what I'm saying? Just while you was doing all of that, while you was doing all of that, I was speaking. I wasn't paying attention to a goddamn thing you were saying, but you weren't paying attention to me. But go ahead and watch the playback when this is up. I said what I said about the Republicans and what I don't like about them. I detailed my issue, but just for your slow ass, I'll reiterate it again. I said the Republicans are the party of pointing fingers. They will say these people are the problem, that person is the problem, this other person is the problem. Wow, once again, they're the ones creating the issue. They know who the real problem is, and the finger never goes to pointing to the actual real problem. That is just one. You hear me? One of my issues with the Republicans. And that's just one. So this whole idea of I just clicked on you because I thought you was gonna be unbiased. This whole live, what I do on this channel, what I've done on the podcast was literally say Republican bad, Democrat bad. These are the people who I think are good. Or this Democrat is good, this Republican is good, everyone else sucks though. Or I hope they do this thing. I hope they do this thing. If they don't do it, they suck. That's literally the unbiased shit that I do here. That's the unbiased stuff that I've been doing on this thing here as well. So with this whole shit being said about, hey, I clicked on it because I thought you were going to be unbiased. I still want to know your answer. What is your definition of unbiased? Because if it looks anything like MSNBC's version of unbiased, then I guess I am biased. But I just want to let you know that their definition, CNN's definition, whatever Democratic news media outlet definition of what unbiased is, it is totally biased. And the same goes for Fox News. Same goes for fucking uh, Tucker Carlson. Same goes for whoever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Their idea of unbiased is still biased. So yeah, you got it messed up over here. This shit gonna die. It's 8:03. I told you I was gonna get off at 8, but I'm having fun just it's been a while since like when you ever see a cat play with a fucking mouse and they just dead body, ragdoll body, just that's what I'm doing right now with your comments. I ain't going front. And it's kind of fun. So what else? What else? You said something about black men. All right. So no black people should not have to bear these issues, but our vote does matter. We do have power, and if black men believe that it's not going to go back to slavery, then what's the point of voting? Because there are other issues aside from slavery. Again, you can vote on you can vote for a politician or vote on stopping a war or vote for a politician who's going to say we're going to stop a war. So either stopping enslavement from happening from another country or just stopping the support. Let me just put it that way, the support, or just stopping the war in general, stopping America for getting involved, or getting involved monetarily, getting involved in proxy wars. There's votes on that. There's a reason to vote. Another reason to vote. You, you were probably here for this as well. You may have missed it, but the prices of things, rent going up, groceries, things of that nature. You can vote on these things have nothing to do with slavery. You can still vote. It seems as though you're saying the only reason black people or black men should vote is to vote against slavery, which is fucking weird to say because there are more issues that have plagued black people in this country than slavery. Yes, slavery is the root cause of a lot of the issues plaguing black Americans today. But it is not the only issue. We suffer from student loan debt as well. You're looking at one. We suffer from medical debt. God, thank God I don't have that, but we suffer from that stuff. We suffer from, redlining, yes, racism and stuff, of course. That's a byproduct of slavery. But we suffer from issues that have nothing to do with race as well. When the poor are being, heavily taxed, or when shit is when environmental issues are going on within the inner city in these poorer neighborhoods, it's not just the black people. You're getting asthma and all these other issues. It's the poor white folks who live in these communities. It's the poor brown folks. It's the other groups of individuals. It's the immigrants that the Democrats let in and get into these neighborhoods who are then affected by these environmental issues. The non-black immigrants as well. So again, this is not this whole idea of I don't. You might want to reiterate that question or think about it again, but because it seemed as though you're saying, and I'm looking at it now. I'm gonna read it one more time. No black people should not have to bear these issues, but our vote does matter. I never said it didn't. I wouldn't have this fucking sticker on my face if I didn't think votes didn't matter. You think I'd put a damn sticker on my face that I'm gonna have to peel off after this live stream ends and it's gonna hurt? You think I'd be doing this if I didn't think this thing didn't matter? If this thing didn't matter at all? I never said that. So again, with the putting words in my mouth so you can argue against what you want me to say, so you can feel as though you made a point. Nah, you can try that with some other motherfuckers. I ain't the one to try that shit with. But anyways, no black people should not have to bear these issues, but our vote does matter. Never said it didn't. We do have power. Didn't say we didn't. And if black men believe that it's not going to go back to slavery, then what's the point of voting? Again, your question there sounds like you're saying the only reason why black men or just black people in general should vote is out of fear that things are going to go back to slavery. When again, sure, who the fuck it would want that? Nobody would want that. But none of these politicians, and again, prison is still around. So you can vote for the eradication of private prisons. You can vote for politicians who are going to do something about that, which is a form of getting rid of slavery. And guess what? Jill Stein, the girl you love to hate, that's on her platform as well. But there's a ton of issues. Just to say all that, there is a ton of issues outside of going back to slavery that black people can vote on and should vote on and have voted on. We're not a one trick pony, Savannah. I know the Democrats think that we all are monolith and we all like the same shit. The way to get us to the polls or the way to relate to us is you got to have strippers all in your videos talking about get your booty to the poll. You got to have Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. And I'm going to get back to Cardi B in a minute. Don't worry, just for you, Savannah. But you got to get celebrities to try to get up there and vote, y'all. That's where they're fucking up. Because there are many black people, black men and women, who say we're not impressed by that. I don't give a fuck what Cardi B has to say. I don't give a fuck what Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce. Just because I'm a fan of all their music, not saying me personally, I'm a fan of Beyonce, but just because a black person might be a fan of all their music doesn't mean they're gonna follow their every fucking word. The whole celebrity worship. And that was the point I was bringing up in regards to not supporting uh not believing Cardi B. Let me see if I could pull that video up because I don't know if you remember this from 2 months ago. 2 months ago, and even a couple years ago, she had made comments about not supporting the Democrats or just not voting out at all. So Cardi B was saying she wasn't even going to vote simply because of what she has been seeing. And then I brought up the fact that she was at Kamala's rally, um, you know, a couple days ago. So it's like you can't really listen to these folks, and it's obvious that she was. Now this phone don't want to. This shit is crummy any fucking way. But let me see what else you got to say. I just might let this laptop just die. That's your right not to vote. What a wonderful country we live in. If it's so wonderful, why you upset that I voted for Jill Stein? I didn't not vote. Like, yeah, what are we doing here? Savannah, who you talking to? So that's the energy you got for Cardi. So me voting is more problematic than someone who doesn't vote or make it vocal that they're not voting. Now, granted, I agree with that comment. You finally starting to make sense again. But I agree with that comment, but it seems as though you have more vitriol for me for voting for Jill Stein than you have for a Cardi B or anybody for that matter for saying I'm not going to vote at all. I just gave you a rundown of a few, not even Jill Stein's entire her entire talking points, right? I gave you a few reasons as to why I voted for her. Some of those reasons I know for a fact you agree with, if not all of them. You ain't got to admit it to the chat. You ain't got to admit that, oh my God, I agree. Oh my God, I'm going to look like a weirdo like he is for agreeing with a third party candidate. You ain't got to admit it, but I know for a fact you probably do. Because a bunch of y'all actually do agree with their stances on things. But yeah, like I listed off a few reasons as to why. And again, I was just 4 or 5 reasons. I listed that off, and to me, it seems as though I'm getting more pushback for actually having reasons. You know what I'm saying? For having reasons for why I voted for someone, as opposed to someone who doesn't vote and their only reason might be, "Oh, I don't do that political shit. I'm all about work, get my money." You know what I'm saying? I'm all about get my president is green, not black, not white. All right, now I get the pushback, but a motherfucker who think that way, it's their right to think that way. And you're right, they do have a right to think that way. But I also have a right to say, hey, listen, I looked into this one candidate, and she, he, they, whoever they are, have a bunch of points that I agree with, not just morally agree with, but these sounds like plans that I would love to see enacted. So I'm gonna vote for that candidate. All right, so the video is now playing. Hold on, let me the Cardi B joint. I'm gonna show you on this shit. All right, well, it's playing, but the sound don't wanna. I hate this phone. Y'all need to hit this like so YouTube could monetize me again or some shit, so I could get a new phone. All right, but no. Anyways, what else you saying, girl? What else? What else? Okay, yeah. Like, I'm never gonna vote for vote. I'm reading a comment now that says, "I love that you didn't vote for Trump. Never voted for Trump ever. Never was gonna get my vote. I'm playing devil's advocate. I think that we need to vote. I think our demographic has a lot of power that they don't recognize. That is 100% true. All right, now we here again, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Or for the first time. That's 100% true. The black community definitely does have a lot of sway, even of folks who believe that they're not educated enough or whatever the case is. We have a lot of sway. But with that being said, we should, I'm talking about those who do vote, we should not allow ourselves to be used by any, and I'm saying any party. I mean, don't even allow the Green Party to oh, there go that signal. This shit about to die. I'm gonna have to end this soon. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, then I'm gonna end this live. All right. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We do have a lot of power, and unfortunately, we have a lot of us with unrecognized power, where we just believe that it's in the hands of these people who either claim to care about us or don't care about us, and make it clear that they don't care about us, right? But the way to go about getting us to um, see that is we have to empower them. Simply just saying to them, go vote, is not empowering. I'm sorry, it's not. I have no problem voting at all, but the reason why I voted, I mean, I've been voting since I was 18, but the reason I voted wasn't because my parents were like, go vote. You're old enough to vote, go vote. It's because I felt empowered. And although not every single vote that I voted for, was one that I well, people would perceive as a winner vote or whatever the case is. And it's not even every single vote that I went. Yeah, like what most people when they started voting, they probably just voted for who their parents told them to, family members, friends, whoever. Um, Voted for people they had no idea who the fuck they were, but did it anyways because they had a D or a R next to their name, or the name sounded ethnic, or whatever the reason is, because they were a man or a woman, or whatever the reason, or you just click the name or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? That happens. But in order to get people to feel like they are empowered, you have to empower them. The ways I've seen folks try to empower the non-voting base of black votes is by scolding them. That is not how you empower people. Anybody, black or not, you don't empower people by scolding them. You don't empower them by calling them stupid, miseducated, uneducated, misinformed, whatever the fuck. You don't. That's not empowering people. When has verbal abuse ever been a way to empower people? Of course, you're gonna have those alpha dickwads that are gonna be like, "Yeah, talk to me any type of way. I'm with that." You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. You could call me any name, or it's gonna empower me to do something. That's just a weirdo with a kink fetish. No, not kink shaming over here. That's just fools who just like to be talked down to. You got fools who like to be talked down to, and then you got average everyday people who damn near want to say normal people who you can't talk down to them to get them to do things. And also with this idea of empowering people, when you empower people, that means you have to be comfortable with them making choices you might not want them to make, or making choices you might not agree with. The whole point of empowerment in general is to get people to practice or to realize, like you say, and to practice their power. That's the point of empowerment. So I'm not saying you're making this argument, but what I've seen people make the argument of empowerment is what they would do is they will say we got to empower people to vote. But then when those people finally get the education, finally get the courage and the wits to say, okay, now that I have all this knowledge and I have all this confidence, I'm going to vote this way, or I'm going to at least question what this side is about. Then you have the very people who said, let's empower these folks. Like, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't do that. Or you don't do that, or scold them once again, bringing them back to square one. So again, I'm not saying I'm not saying that's not what you're doing, but we have to be careful when it comes to if we want more of our people. Sorry about that. If we want more of our people to vote, go out and vote, we have to understand that that might come with a situation where you might have a bunch of people like me who may have been voting one way all their life, or at least a good early portion of their voting life. And then they wake up and then they start to question things. You might have people who totally flip sides. I never flipped from a Democrat to the Republican. I've seen a bunch of people, especially those who, at one point in time was watching me. And whenever I criticized Joe Biden or the Democrats, they would, yeah, you just like us. No, I'm not. Y'all flip from one side to the other. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I realized the side I was voting for all of my life ain't been doing the shit. I realized what they was really about. But as I realized what they was really about, and even when I was on that side, I still realized what the other side was about. And I'm not picking between a shit sandwich and an ice cream and a shit ice cream, but the cone of the ice cream is not made of shit, but what's on top of the cone is made of shit. And that's what the votes has been like. It's like, okay, you can vote for an ice cream shit sandwich or just an ice cream cone with shit on it. You still gonna get shit, but with the ice cream shit sandwich, it's the top part of shit. What's in the middle where it's supposed to be the ice cream, it's also shit, and the bottom part of shit. Whereas you have the other part where you have an ice cream cone, which is actual made of what ice cream cones are made out of, whatever, wheat, sugar, all that stuff, right? So it's a real ice cream cone, but it's not an ice cream cone holding ice cream. It's an ice cream cone holding shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like empowering people means letting them know or having to giving them the courage and the knowledge that they need to make a decision for themselves. That way they don't feel like pressured into eating the shit sandwich or licking the shit off the ice cream cone and then telling themselves and telling other people, well, it's still an ice cream cone, look. Again, that's man, I'm not saying that's not what you're doing, but many people I've seen with this whole empowerment thing, I've seen them do that. But just to reiterate, because I'm rambling at this point, you're right. We do need to recognize our power. But with that being said, we need to recognize that nobody owns our vote. And I'm gonna end off by saying that because it's gonna die soon. Nobody, absolutely nobody, not even the party that I've voted for. Again, Green Party. They don't own my vote. At any point in time, they can fuck up. I wasn't too confident with them in 2020. At any point in time, they can fuck up and I can go vote elsewhere. Or I can say, nah, I think everybody trashed this year. I'm gonna sit out. Real empowerment is allowing people to have that autonomy. Real empowerment is allowing folks to realize that choice is not just something people say because it's a nice thing to say. Hey, give everybody a choice. No one's going to say don't give them a choice. Everyone's going to say give everybody a choice. Everybody going to say that. But not everybody means that. If you truly want to empower folk, you really got to mean let's give these folks some choices. Or at least let's allow them, give them the education, give them the tools. They'll go out, they'll seek the knowledge. Some might seek the knowledge themselves. Some might dabble in choices or see what's what out there and make their own choice. You know? Because at the end of the day, and I'm not going, this is gonna be the last comment for real, for real, for real. I should run. Oof. Nah, I had my stint with politics. I am done. I don't got enough battery life to even get into all of that. Maybe in a video in the future, I'll tackle that again. But what I was saying before, if I'm not going to name a party or whatever, right? But my thing is, this is how my brain works. If the party was actually that dang good, like undeniably good, you wouldn't have people going out and finding like third parties, third, fourth, fifth party. There's so many damn parties. And I ain't gonna lie, like as someone who champions choice, a lot of them other parties fucking suck. Trust me, as someone who knows, I would do my research. I don't just go based off of what somebody on TikTok said. I'm not even on that shit. But I don't go based off what TikTok says, MSNBC. No, I do my research on these other folks. Some of these folks are just they suck. I'm just gonna keep it a buck for lack of battery time here, but they suck. But if parties, whether it was the Republicans or the Democrats, if they're really as good as they say they are, then go ahead and dislike, man. Hit the dislike, hit the like, whatever you want to do. I know you're new here, but I know you're new here, and I don't know if you trolling right now, but I know you're new here. But you're like saying all this. Now you saying this Trump shit, and you was basically saying women under him were threatened. You got a kink shame too. You got I mean not a kink shame. You got a kinky thing too. If women are threatened under Trump and you want him as president, you must want to be kinked up. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, you know, fucked up my last point. As I'll say before, if either party was as good as they said they were, there would be no fucking third parties, to be honest with you. So it's like at the end of the day, we can get on uninformed voters, we can get on people who don't vote. At the end of the day, it's up to these two parties to actually keep their word and actually be good. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you out here dating whoever you date, Third parties is not the reason why the system is messed up. It's the system is messed up because the two parties who've been in charge running things for forever messed up the system, and people are looking for other options. If you are in a neighborhood and let's just say your local corner store sells nothing but junk ass food, your grocery store sells nothing but junk ass food, you're gonna go elsewhere if you want some healthy food. If you're not fine with the food quality in your neighborhood or whatever quality in your neighborhood, you're gonna go elsewhere. So think about it like that. People are going elsewhere because they're like, I'm tired of this shit here, tired of this shit here. Simply because this shit sells sugary shit, and this other shit sells sugar free, but it's still lab made crap. It's still crap over here, and it's still crap over here. This shit can give me cancer. This shit gives me cancer. This stuff gives me diabetes. This stuff gives me diabetes. I'm going elsewhere. I'm going to find some other place that's not going to give me cancer and diabetes and other types of heart disease and other types of issues. So it's like, no, the other options aren't the issue. It's the options that are the problem. If there was actually valuable choices, you wouldn't have people going outside of their neighborhood to find healthy choices. You know what I'm saying? And the analogy that I just said, you wouldn't have people doing that. Simple as that. If the store up the street on the left side of your house or the right side of your house was actually giving you choices that was valuable choices for your body, you wouldn't feel the need to go out of town, to go out of your neighborhood, to go find stores with that. And then you wouldn't make those stores that you have to go out of your way to go to, you wouldn't make that your dedicated store. Because you're like, you wouldn't need to do all of that. So again, it's not third parties fault. And it's weird. It's America. Why would you not give people the option? It's America, right? You know what I'm saying? You see the American flag on my face. Why not give people? That's what America's supposed to be about. Anyways, you keep swiping me. I know you're trolling at this point, but I'm saying it anyways. I'm spitting. If these parties were not as terrible as are, like I said, people wouldn't need to feel the need to go out and find other options. It's really that simple. Number two, people wouldn't lose faith. People would not lose faith. Now, of course, there are people who still remain faithful, blind faithful to either of these parties for their reasons. I know you mentioned something about boomers before. I can't find that comment, but I'm not a boomer. I'm a millennial. If you were calling me a boomer, I'm a millennial. I just turned 33 in August, so I'm an old soul, but boomer. And even if I was a boomer, that it wouldn't discredit anything that I've said in this entire life. It wouldn't. It would. I mean, I want to get older, so eventually I wouldn't want to be the boomer that some young person is gonna call me. If I sound old to them, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I'm still looking as good at a boomer age. So that's what I gotta say. Yeah, I'm done now. Now I'm gonna take off this. Oh, it wasn't as painful. Oh, okay. Now it's starting to hurt. All right. Now I told you I was gonna wear this for the. I wore this all fucking day. Not even just for the stream. When I went out to go vote earlier in the day, before the rush, and soon as I got done, ow. As soon as I got done, I put this shit on. Anyways, appreciate those who are coming in and out. Appreciate you, Savannah, for the conversation. You a wild one, but hey, I appreciate it. Um, I'm slow, I'm right, I'm this, I'm that. Hey, listen, you're new here, but you at least you sound like everybody who fucks with me and don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? So you're new here, but you pick up really quick. So you're not as dumb as I thought you were. Still dumb though. but not as dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you have a good night. And yeah, go ahead and hit that subscribe, will you? Thanks.